think about it. Who becomes the champion? The guy who didn't try very hard and just kind of half-assed his workout? Or the guy who tries his hardest? The reps in reserve high volume thing, like I really tried hard to be polite and give it a shot, and I did. And I kind of pissed away a couple years of my life building the hypertrophy program and experimenting with a hypertrophy program. But it gives me the resolve to tell you with 100% confidence, don't go down that path. It's dumb. It's a massive waste of time. Hi, my name is Jaquish. I'm a doctor of biomedical engineering, which gives me a unique perspective. Today, I'm going to be reacting to a video that was put out by a guy named Max Coleman, who's a researcher. I think he's a really smart guy. I think in this particular topic, I think he's been definitely led down the wrong path, or he's taken up he's carrying the flag for high volume. If you watch my content, that is not the way things work. If volume worked, you'd always be adding more volume and just be doing more and longer workouts in perpetuity if volume had an effect, and that's not how it works. So that's not how it works for beginners, it's not how it works for intermediates, it's not how it works for advanced. Yet here we are, and we have these, what I think are ludicrous volume recommendations. So let's hear what Max has to say, and I'll explain why it's a problem.
Can the low volume crowd finally stop coping? Because this study was just published, hopefully ending this debate once and for all. I mean, you'd think the dozens of studies showing high volumes are better for growth would be enough, but a lot of people still think high volumes just cause muscle swelling, not actual growth. Fortunately, this idea was just tested directly. They had subjects do either 7, 14, or 21 sets of quads to failure in a single workout. Then, they measured muscle thickness at various time points to see how much swelling occurred and how long it lasted. So was there any swelling? Absolutely. But it disappeared entirely the very next day, regardless of how many sets they did. And look, you can make great gains doing just a few sets per week, but thinking that low volumes are somehow optimal just doesn't make sense at this point. So if your friend still thinks a 20th century bodybuilder knew something scientists today don't, send them this video and follow for more science-based content.
Did you hear 21 sets of quads to failure in one workout? That study deserves to be dropped in the trash can, because you can't do 21 sets of squats to failure. And coincidentally, here we have ChatGPT. I asked the question, how many times can somebody take a muscle group to failure in one workout? Well, ChatGPT seems to think between 1 and 3. And that's depending on intensity. The way I do a set of squats, first of all, I train one leg at a time because I'm a human and humans run and walk on one leg at a time. The only thing that should be training 2 legs at a time is probably a kangaroo, because they run on 2 legs at a time. Also, you want all of your resources all your body's resources going into one quad, one glute as you're training your legs. Like, why divide all your body's resources into both legs when you can focus it on one at a time and get a much deeper level of fatigue, thereby triggering more growth? Now, I do 1 set per workout for just about every movement. And like I said, I don't have to keep on repeating myself. When somebody says 21 sets of the same exercise to failure in the same workout, just don't listen to somebody who says something nonsensical like that. That doesn't exist. That is just plain stupid. Now, keep in mind, Max is a smart guy. He's just reporting on what a study found. He didn't conduct a study. I have nothing but reservations about that study. Yeah, it's trash. Volume, I really tried. I even spent years of my life doing a hypertrophy program for the X3 workout system. So I tried it. I even tried it with our customers, and people were asking for it too. So it wasn't like there's a driving force behind the high volume people and how they see the world and how they want exercise presented. So I started with a high intensity type program. I created a hypertrophy type program. Both programs are free. They come with the X3 bar. I did both programs, and now what I'm doing is the Westside Barbell X3 Academy, which is much more like the original program. So very high intensity, very brief. Ignore all of this volume stuff. That's not how it works. I know there's some people who are very accomplished bodybuilders who did high volume, also took like a truckload of drugs, also have incredible genetics. I don't think you should really do what these people do necessarily. They're great to look at just for awe, like, wow, I can't believe how jacked that guy is, you know, whoever comes to mind. But the high intensity way of doing things is how athletes train. There are no athletes on earth that train with high volume. In fact, the only institutions, academic institutions that push volume training are the American College of Sports Medicine and the National Academy of Sports Medicine. These are two groups who are really focused on like getting elderly people into fitness centers. Well, lifting light weights and not trying very hard is something that can get elderly people into the gym, because I think from their perspective, they just think getting people into the gym is the goal. Well, the problem with that idea is, and they want to make sure that the chances of injury are lower. So when you're training light, yeah, sure, your chances of injury are going to go down. Also, your chances of doing anything at all to your physiology go down as well. Because think about it, who becomes the champion? The guy who didn't try very hard and just kind of half-assed his workout? Or the guy who tries his hardest? Like the reps in reserve high volume thing, like I really tried hard to be polite and give it a shot, and I did. And I kind of pissed away a couple years of my life building the hypertrophy program and experimenting with a hypertrophy program. But it gives me the resolve to tell you with 100% confidence, don't go down that path. It's dumb. It's a massive waste of time. Also, 21 sets per body part per workout. Like, you know, that's, if you factor that through, 8 body parts, you might be training 7 to 12 hours a week. Like, who has time for that? Maybe if you're a total loser and you got nothing to do, that you can do that, but you don't need to do that. In fact, you'll do better if you take the high intensity approach. You can definitely try and rattle my cage in the comments and tell me I'm wrong, but you got to show up with research. If it's research like this, I'm going to rip it apart, because like I said, you can't do 21 sets of squats to failure in one workout. Nobody can do that. The fact that that was even written down just tells me that the researchers have absolutely no idea what training to failure means. I hope this helped. Say something in the comments. See you on the next one.
If this video helped you, I want you to subscribe and follow. I'm going to put out videos on a regular basis. I think they're going to help a whole lot of people, especially if you're one of those people that doesn't just instantly grow from lifting regular weights. We've got the answer for you.